All right, we are live now.
Live.
This is Kyle with WMMA Fighters.
John here. How you doing?
And we also have Emilee Prince on with us today. How you doing, Emilee?
I'm doing wonderful.
Good to hear.
John here. How you doing?
So we just kind of keep it casual here.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Cash.
So we will. We'll start with let's get this fighting nonsense out of the way.
Yeah.
Fighting nonsense.
Before we talk about the cool stuff.
Yeah.
No, I'm just
Okay.
kidding. So I wanted that because we interviewed. Was that a couple weeks ago? I think.
It was right before Christmas.
Yeah, that was a great interview. Did really well. I didn't ask. So, what is like your what do you do to condition and stay in shape outside of your training?
Outside of just like the skills training,
Yeah.
I have two trainers. One is at Frankie's Body Shop with the FBS combat team. I train under Chloe Padilla, and I train with her on Mondays and Fridays in the mornings, early mornings. And then I'm also with Tailor Made Fitness, and that's with Taylor Turner. And she is also a professional MMA fighter, so she really knows the ins and outs of the game and what a body needs to do in order to perform.
Hey, you there?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
That was on our end. So, funny story. We got most of that. We're actually moving in a couple weeks. So,
Congrats.
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say it.
Get ready for the internet rant.
Do not, under any circumstances, use Giga Monster internet.
Okay.
I feel so much better now. Getting that out. I'm dead serious. Like I told him, I was like, I'm not going to keep quiet. But anyway, we cut off at Taylor's.
With Tailor Made Fitness.
Yeah.
Her name is Taylor Turner, and she's also a professional MMA fighter, so she knows the ins and outs of the game and what a body needs to do in order to perform well in the cage. So I have two excellent strength and conditioning coaches that really push me, and then of course closer to fight camp time, we'll pick up with the cardio or whatever needs to be done in order to get me in the best shape. And then it's the off season, we'll do more of like the strength and trying to put on muscle. So that's what I do.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, I know a lot of training for fighting is a lot different than going to the gym, and like you said, the skills training and stuff. I know that's a lot different than what you would do for strength training.
Absolutely. I think the sport itself demands its own type of conditioning. It's not something that you can just do cardio and be fine at, or you can, it's like they use the analogy of it's like a car. So you can have a really big engine with all the muscle, right? But then if you don't have the gas tank, it's kind of like your cardio. So you have to have both in order for it to be a functional vehicle. And like I said, Frankie's Body Shop does a really good job of making us the best that we can be. And again, I have the added insight of Taylor Turner. So I've got good people in my corner, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's really good. And like you said, it's very important in all the pieces. And you're talking about conditioning too. I mean, one thing I'll never forget, I don't know if you remember the first season of The Ultimate Fighter. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot different than it is now. I don't know if you've ever watched that, Emilee, or not.
Well, in our last interview, I told you I was really bad about watching the sport.
Yes. Now, what they did was they made these fighters run on a treadmill. So you did 5 minutes at 5 miles an hour. 5 minutes at 6 miles an hour, and you kept doing that up to 10 miles an hour.
Wow.
So they'd run for 30 minutes. I mean, that's like, as an MMA fighter, I mean, that's the kind of stuff you got to do,
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
is there like an aspect, because I know I don't really have any fighting experience or anything like that, more of just an enthusiast, but like I know I played football, and there was an aspect to where, you could do some practicing and all that stuff, and that could help you condition, but then there was a certain element of the only way to truly get into there was sort of by playing. But obviously, with fighting, I'd imagine you can't be fighting all the time because of all the trauma that happens. Like, is there an element of like just you got to get in, like, say, do more sparring or anything to help with that?
I think, particularly at Knoxville Martial Arts Academy, I think we do have a motto of work smarter, not necessarily harder.
Okay.
So, like, Monday through Thursday, we're going to work our techniques, and we're going to learn, and it's active learning, right? You're going to do your reps slow. You're going to really build those neural pathways, that muscle memory, and you're going to work the technique and work your game plan Monday through Thursday. Now, on Fridays, we call it Fun Day Friday, almost as like a jab at it, but that's when the beasts get to come out. Is on Fridays we get to everything that we've learned Monday through Thursday. Let's put it to practice on Friday. Let's go live with it and see how we do. And so I wouldn't say that you necessarily need more sparring. And then when it comes to putting it all together in the cage, I think there's a good mentality of anyone who has good technique can win round 1. Anyone who has good conditioning can win round 2. And then round 3, that's the person who's got the heart, man. So you can do everything that, as far as strength and technique goes, but I think you have to have the heart behind it too, especially in those last few minutes.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've always respected how, in a lot of sports you could kind of have just sort of some athletes dominate where, they have talent, but it's mainly their athleticism that's getting them through. But then the thing I like about fighting is I'd see just you have to have like equally skill. It's not just, you can't just throw like an athlete in there in the cage and they'll beat somebody with technique.
Yeah, it's that's why this sport's exciting, right? I mean, so sometimes the more athletic, stronger person wins. Sometimes it's the one who has more technique. It's the luck, and I won't say luck of the draw. I don't believe in luck, but you roll the dice and you play hard. And at the end of the day, you just gotta be happy with how you performed. If you performed your best, then that's what you got. But I think I like to think of myself as more of a technique-oriented person, especially just with the knowledge base that Eric Turner has. It's incredible. I think I will forget more. They'll forget more about MMA than I'll ever learn. So I just trust their techniques and really try to put them into play.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you definitely surround yourself with, sounds like you got a really strong team.
I think so, especially for women MMA. Like, I know we've mentioned that before, but just this past weekend, as far as the females go, Olivia Parker still is undefeated, and then Shamir Peshewa, she just made her pro debut at the Valor fight at the Knoxville Coliseum, and they both came out with victories, but they're two incredibly talented athletes. I mentioned Taylor Turner earlier, Shanna Young. I mean, our gym is stacked with female fighters, and just to have those resources to be able to train with another female body, it's different, and I think it's an advantage, especially compared to some of the other gyms where they're only going with guys all the time. And don't get me wrong, we go with guys too. I think that was like one of the first comments that was made to me when I stayed around for an MMA class. They're like, "We hit girls here," and I'm like, "Cool, let's do it." But I think it's just another dynamic that KMA has, and it's perfect for us.
Yeah, so, I wasn't really familiar with the place, but after we talked, yeah, I mean, there's big names there, and like you said, the women's MMA there is just, it is very stacked and very diverse. So, I mean, that's a place that's going to start coming together, and there's a lot of athletes out there now that are getting on big cards,
Yeah, we have it. We have all the cards in our favor. It's just going to be a matter of time before it plays out. But I have 100% faith in all of my teammates' abilities. They're going to go as far as they want to go. It's just have patience and trust the process, and we're all going to get there. So yeah. Iron sharpens iron. I mean, I got the best teammates in the world.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you're a very you project a positivity. Like I was, pretty pumped after we talked. It was just a good conversation,
That was a good conversation. I enjoyed it.
As lame as that was, but it's just, I wanted to hit on just, it's one thing to be positive because you're doing it to preach to people. It's another thing to be positive because you're genuinely positive and you want to succeed, and that's where you fall in, and I think that's more contagious, and it's a good thing.
Life is too short to be unhappy. Like, make your own happiness. If you're not happy with something, then change it. Own it. Take responsibility. But do life how you want to do it, and do it unapologetically.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
Now, here comes the bus. I'm going to throw you under. So you've definitely done that. John wasn't here, so I want to see his reaction. Just real quick on the sacrifice that you did to pursue being an MMA fighter.
Yes. Are you referring to the nursing, I'm assuming here?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because there's lots of little sacrifices. My career as a nurse is a big one, but it's also the little sacrifices of, I live an hour from my gym, and I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to be there by 6 to get my early morning workouts. And so, that's sacrificing sleep. But it's a life for a life. And I sacrificed my nursing career back in June. It was after my loss at the Shed. And really, I lost that fight because I gave up. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Elena because she's an incredible athlete. But I think I was in my head too much. I think it was one of those pivotal moments of, like, do I want to do this? Is this what I want to do? I felt like I had given up on this dream a long time ago, and I just needed to really put all my eggs in one basket. And so while I love nursing, it is an incredible art. It is something that, you got to respect those bedside nurses because they're your lifeline a lot of times. And I cared deeply for my patients. I cared for my coworkers. But at the end of the day, I wanted MMA more. I know that there is a shelf life to being a professional athlete, but I want it more. So that's why I chose MMA over nursing, and I have not regretted it. I think God has honored that sacrifice immensely, and the Invicta Pro debut was just a testament to that. But I was just, like, looking back through some of those pictures this week, and I was like, I have got to get back there. Just, like, looking back at that moment of it was a reality. It was like, oh, my goodness, this is actually happening. All this hard work has finally paid off. I say finally, there's a lot of people who've worked a lot longer at this, but I want to go back, and I want to go back as soon as I can, so I'm going to hustle, and I'm going to put in the work it takes to get back there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like I said, I really, like that sat really heavy with me. So, and yeah, you kicked off that card, right?
I did.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I bet it's unlike anything out there.
Well, that's like, I don't know if you obviously. Well, I was gonna say I don't know if you know this. You don't know this. We just met you today.
We go way back.
Yeah.
20 minutes.
My mom, she was that really sits crazy with me because, like, my mom's a nurse now, and she's been a nurse for like 20 some years. She's done a lot of different departments, things like that, and so I've seen and I grow up with, like, her coming back after either patients passed away, or I'd be to the grocery store with her, and some people would come up to her and, they'd treat her like family and stuff, and then they'd say something like, oh, you took such good care of my dad, or you took such good care of my daughter. And, like, so that dedication that, I'd see in my mother and everything, like, I can hear it when you talk about, how much you liked nursing and how much you love that career. But at the same time, I think I can see a little bit more just how bad you want to be a fighter, because in order to walk away from that, having that type of commitment to it, that's really impressive.
It is aggressive. It was a leap of faith, and you jump off that cliff, and you're going to hurry up and try to build a plane on your way down. But I'm lucky enough that I have people at my gym who've already built the plane before, so they have good advice.
Yeah, well, that's awesome that it's working out for you. That's really awesome.
Yeah, I have the mechanical ability of the Wright brothers before they figured it out. So I build a plane, it just doesn't go anywhere. But it's
No, we're gonna fly up. We're going up.
It's
That's
getting
the
there.
direction.
I mean, there's only so
might
many
need
times
a little
you
help
can have it.
navigating here and there.
I jump off with the umbrella. That's pretty much what I do.
And I'm Wile E. Coyote. Freaking nosedive.
It'll be an adventure on the way down,
Oh,
anyways.
yeah. Yeah. My wife skydives, and I think she's insane.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah,
And doing that.
It's crazy. I'm not a big fan of it. All right, so, we talked about, so like a lot of the, people, have pets and things. I know this is a good topic for you.
I know.
So do you do you train them, or are you big into adopting? I mean, do you advocate anything like that?
I think I advocate for adoption.
Mm-hmm.
I rescued Nora from an animal shelter when she was like 6 weeks old. I just feel like if there's dogs in the shelter, I'm not going to go shop for a breed or anything like that. But that again, that's a personal thing. I got Nora in the idea that I would turn her into a therapy dog. But as I was just beginning my career as a nurse, she wound up becoming more of a therapy dog for me. So she's trained. She's really well trained. She has really good manners. But I never went through the certification process with her. I probably will at some point. But she just kind of helped me cope with things because, like you were talking about, John was talking about his mom, there are times when you come home from a shift and you're like, I do not know how to process everything that just happened to me in 12 hours. And what just happened it was a whole lot of life and it was a whole lot of craziness. And it was just a way that, along with MMA, Nora was also a way for me to cope with the struggles of being a new grad nurse on the floor. So, yeah, I hold a lot of value in that little tiny mutt.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that's it's nice to talk about things you care about, and that's what that's what we want to do because that just makes it better. But yeah, I mean, animals are magic.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, they're just capable of so many things. They don't even realize it,
Yeah. We went to the dog park today and hung out. We had a good doggy day in the night sunshine.
Yeah, this weather's weird. I don't know what it's like down there, but it's almost 60 degrees here.
It was like in the 70s today. It's
Oh my
perfect.
God.
That's awesome.
That's weird.
I drove with the windows down today. I loved it. It was awesome.
That's so weird.
January.
Yeah.
Now, since we last spoke, have you you got any prospects going on for an upcoming fight, or heard from Invicta or anything?
I've not heard from Invicta, but if y'all want to put a bug in their ear, you just keep pushing it.
Hey, I think Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
I think she is. She does her best to communicate with me on Twitter. I kind of blow her up, but I'll just keep adding her. We do a lot of Invicta stuff, obviously, because that's what Invicta is. Yeah, I mean, I'd be more than happy to, like, hey, how you doing? You should put Emilee back on there.
Good, yes, do that.
Yeah, she loves dogs.
How could you not put somebody loves dogs on
Yeah,
there?
I mean, come on, that's an easy one.
Be like, she hates puppies. She's not putting her on here.
Yeah.
Do what?
They say, be like, oh, if you don't have her on here, then you're against puppies, and then the backlash will just get you.
Oh, there's a lot of dog lovers.
Exactly.
People love fighting and people love dogs.
Oh, could you
They
imagine?
go hand in hand.
Could you imagine the downfall?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
My God. All right, what's your dream car?
Dream car?
Yes. Totally did a
Something that
180.
gets you from point A to point B.
Oh yeah.
That's all.
See, I used to feel that way. But, I mean, I got to have a Porsche someday.
Okay, I take that back. My dream car is something that gets me from point A to point B without me driving it. I hate driving.
So one of them Teslas is pretty much what it is. Have you seen videos?
Sure.
I've seen videos of those like self-driving cars where they like old dudes just napping in the driver's seat while they're going to work. Like,
But here's the question: if you're riding shotgun, could the car use the carpool lane?
that's crazy. That's interesting if you think about it.
You know, isn't AI a thing now? Isn't it like recognized as a thing?
I'm pretty sure just say it has feelings, and that would be it.
It cries.
Yeah, just be like, hey, it identifies as a person.
I didn't want this in black.
Does it get road rage? At that point, does it also get road rage?
Yeah. Oh my God! Could you imagine that?
That's the sci-fi movie right there. Just
That
cars
is
with road rage.
Some film students are making it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be terrible. Speaking of, there was a horror movie, The Tire.
What?
It was a tire that went on a murderous rampage.
It's funny that I like the whole.
What kind of movies do you watch?
That's hilarious. So I'm one of those people. First of all, I love horror movies, and
like the funny horror movies.
I like legit ones.
Oh, like Sharknado.
But I also love the stupid ones. And I was on Netflix. Pretty sure it was when my wife was out of town, and I spent that whole weekend playing video games and watching Netflix. And I discovered 3 movies. One was The Tire. Two was called Thanksgiving, where the turkey comes to life and gets revenge.
Oh my goodness.
And Zombievers, which is
It sounds like you just killed a bunch of brain cells.
I would be offended if that wasn't true.
That's funny.
My wife
Sorry, I
says
had
thank
to.
you. No, you're fine. See, that's what I do. And I actually recommended Zombievers to a friend, and she sent me a text 22 minutes later and said, I'm done with this.
I'll tell you what, probably the horror movie that freaked me out the most was like any of the Leprechaun movies.
I don't like leprechauns.
I was fine with them because my first experience was Lucky Charms. And then after that, I saw this horror movie where this leprechaun's just killing people. It's not cool.
Can you eat Lucky Charms?
I manage it.
It's a tough subject. Oh my God.
You can find healthier cereal choices than Lucky Charms.
Yeah, I know.
You can.
But I don't want to.
You don't want to, yeah.
Oh man! Except I will say this: if anybody's wondering, our listeners, it is not a good idea to separate out all the marshmallows and eat that by itself.
Oh my God.
Why?
I did an experiment.
Can't you buy those by themselves?
No, I separated them.
So you put effort.
But I think you can buy them online already separated.
Oh, can you? Well, I didn't know that. Darn it! I would have saved about.
Now here's the question: is that from like just some guy on some site, or is that like a legit place that actually wears hairnets and gloves and stuff?
Oh yeah, like some dude just. I could do that. What do you do? I separate
He buys
marshmallows.
one of those sealers,
Yeah.
and he just wants to use it.
Dude, that's awesome. I had to
That's
do that.
gross.
Okay, what cereal do? If you eat cereal,
let's talk food.
Yeah, what cereal do you? Do you?
Oh, we're gonna talk food.
Yeah, we're gonna talk food.
My favorite food is breakfast food. So I will really eat any kind of cereal there is ever. But pancakes, I'm your girl.
There you go.
Waffles, any breakfast food, I'm down. Breakfast for dinner is my favorite.
That's good. Good old Brenner.
Yeah, we do that. So do you cook a lot, or do you eat out a lot?
I like to cook. I cook basically to, at this point, especially being an athlete, food is more fuel than anything else. So I don't have very many cheat meals, especially close to fight camp. I try to stay pretty strict on the diet. But as far as just what I enjoy baking. So after the Invicta fight, I had a few weeks off and got to enjoy the holidays, and I just like to bake. Usually cakes, pies, cookies, anything like that. I just find joy in the making of it, and then I usually give it away because I don't want to eat all of it. So, yeah. I make a pretty killer Italian cream cake.
That just sounds good.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, what great timing for your fight. Because we sat there and because there was a big fight, Road FC 45, where Jin Yufrey fought, and that was the 30th Could you imagine having to go through the holidays?
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah, well, actually, one of my teammates, Morgan, she was supposed to fight like this January 6th card, and so, but that her girl canceled, but she canceled like right after Christmas, so the poor girl did not even get to eat Christmas dinner, and they didn't get to fight. Like she didn't get either.
I would go to her house and be like, "We're fighting."
I'd be like, "You owe me pies and ham."
But that woman's a saint, because otherwise I would have done just that. Drive to that girl's house and be like, "Look here, I missed dinner for you."
I wonder if that's ever happened in like a fighter's like, "Hey, I'm sorry," and like just send you like catered. Because I'd be mad, but if like the person sent me like catered food, like here's your holiday dinner on me, I'd be like, "All right, we're cool." And then
yeah,
not bad.
I mean, you have to pick one. It's either eating or fighting. So if I'm not going to eat, I better be able to fight.
Yeah. Now, so you said you eat a lot for fuel and stuff like that. What would you say is a big, you do some healthy, I call them like flavor saver tips to where just make stuff a little bit less monotonous, less just like to taste better. What's like one of the things that you, that is like a big staple that you like, oh, this makes it taste good, or I couldn't go without, like I like a lot of barbecue seasonings that I have, like on my chicken, to where if I didn't have that, I'd be like, I would hate to eat this. Do you have any stuff like that?
That's kind of a hard question. I think as far as like everyday life, I'll eat, any flavors I'm pretty good with. But particularly in a fight camp, like when I'm on my really strict diet, it is very bland for me because I like the idea of it being bland. I like the idea of making it suck a little bit because you're going to die every day in the process, to where that when you weigh in on the scales, we say that that's our Valhalla day. You die on the scale, and you get to feast and fight the next day. So I like to keep it really plain. I don't do a lot of seasonings. I do the Dolce diet that Taylor Turner has me on, and I stick to it. And I kind of am really weird in that mindset of like it's gonna suck, but that's okay. It's just fuel. It's just food. I get to do the thing that I want at the end of the fight camp. So I'm not the best one to ask on that.
No, I got you. No, that's interesting. It's definitely, I like to get into the mental aspect of that. Then probably want to get away from food here soon, but the last question would be, at the end after you weigh in, is there anything that you like would love to eat, or like a specific food that gets you, oh, when I get this, I'm going to have this?
After I get off the scales, first thing I want is the grape flavored Pedialyte. That is like the best stuff ever after weight cut is Pedialyte. I don't know why I love it. But real food, the past few fights has been pancakes, breakfast food. Let's go to get breakfast food, and I'm happy.
There you go. That's awesome.
Huh?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even think of Pedialyte.
Pedialyte's pretty good.
Yeah, serious.
Saved my life a couple times.
Oh, yeah, serious. I mean, the kid gets sick, you get Pedialyte.
Yeah.
I think after my first weigh-in, I got off the scale. That was the first thing my teammates gave me to drink. And I was just like, it gave me, because where I had not had any, like, sugar or anything for so long, it gave me, like, a tingling sensation in my brain. I was like, must be, like, what hard drugs feel like.
Oh,
I was like, it was weird.
Yeah,
so then after that, I've always stuck with it.
Yeah, I mean, weight cutting is something that a lot of people don't understand. They don't really get the process of it. So I mean, that's a really good
weight cuts are difficult, but I think if you do them in the correct way, and then like I said, I have great coaches. I do what they say to do, and then also I have my nursing knowledge. You don't get to be a nurse if you can't know how electrolytes work in the body. So between those two, I think we have a pretty good system of how it works. It's just more of just following the process, just being good on your discipline, and weight cuts aren't bad. I think for my Invicta fight, I woke up almost on weight. I think it was less than half a pound I had to cut, and I just spit in a bottle for an hour while I watched a movie. I didn't have to get in a sauna or anything. It was super easy. My body did really good. I like my kidneys. I want them to work when I'm older. So I stay strict on the diet.
Yeah, that's impressive. I mean, a lot of people, it's always the negative You know.
Yeah, I feel like that knowledge would help you sort of have. Obviously, you have great coaches who have knowledge that they're giving you the right information and stuff. But that knowledge you have does that help you have more faith in it? To where I feel like if you didn't have any of that knowledge, you'd be like, oh well, I hope they're telling me the right stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I do. I think I've been at the bedside. I've seen those dialysis patients, and I know what kind of damage when you dehydrate to the point of kidney damage. I know what that's going to look like in 10, 20 years, and I don't want that. Yeah. I do also have, in nursing school, we take a class in nutrition. I know the basic nutrition. I know what my body needs to function. And if I'm getting that and I'm feeling that, the taste and all that secondary, I'm going to take care of my body. I want to be an advocate for health and for healthy people and to do things the right way. And you have to practice what you preach. If you're going to tell, your diabetic patient that you need to be on a diet, but I can't follow it for me and my goals, that makes me a hypocrite. So that's not cool. I have to, again, follow what I walk the talk, or however you phrase that.
Oh, we get you. Yeah, I mean, again, that's a lot of the stuff that stands out. Just your overall,
very authentic.
Yeah, and just your overall outlook and everything is it's very refreshing. So yeah, that's So let's be done with food.
Yeah.
Okay, no more food.
Yeah. Let me think here. What is your favorite time of year?
Fall.
Fall?
Yeah, in East Tennessee, the colors are gorgeous, and there's kind of a weird, twisted sense of beauty in the death of the leaves. I don't know why. I love the smell of it. I love the temperature. The sunshine just feels like it radiates deeper. I love the fall. It's good fly fishing weather. If any of y'all fly fishers, it's good. Camping, I'm there.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I like the colder months myself.
I'm a big fall person. I like just because of the time of the year. I like it getting cooler, and then just the feel of it. I've always liked the fall.
So,
I'm trying to think. There was a question I was going to ask. If you had an autobiography, what title what would the title be?
What would the title be?
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking about this today. I went to a bookstore today. I was looking for a couple books, and I was just browsing. I was like, what would I write a book about? And then I came across this. I mentioned before, like our kind of Valhalla theme for our Vikings theme for post weigh-ins and all that. But there's me and one other female fighter at the gym. Her name is Christina Ricker, and our coach refers to us as the Valkyrie twins. And I think that would be a really awesome name for a book because of what all it encompasses. And that's kind of like my theme, the mythical like idea of why I do what I do. It relates a lot back to the Viking mindset. That's why my theme song or my walkout song is what it is. And so it would probably be something along those lines.
That's pretty cool. Mine would be called What the Hell? the Kyle Combs story. So, that brings up another really good point. You do not currently have a nickname.
I do not. Have you worked on it, Kyle? What is it?
I mean, you just said it.
That'd be cool.
Valkyrie.
Yeah. You heard it here first.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Go ahead and trademark it. Copyright it.
Well, then you also said it wasn't. I believe that good nicknames aren't chosen.
Right.
Right, and you said
it came to you.
It was given to you, yes. Right? And then,
well, in that regard, he did give us specific names because they're twins. So he called me Sigri and Chris is Sigrun.
That's even better.
What are you waiting on?
Yeah, why are you sitting on this? I would be okay.
I don't know. Someone else has to say it.
I'm
getting on Wikipedia right now.
Yeah.
Is this going to happen?
No, it's official now. It's official. I think it's freaking sweet.
Yeah, Vikings. I just my grandmother's maiden name was Savage, and we Actually, it's on Ancestry.com, and I am Norse. So I've been looking into that stuff. That's cool.
I'm Irish. So with my attitude.
Yeah, I can buy that.
So here's what's going to happen. We're going to write an article.
Okay.
And we're going to call you that.
Then everyone's just going to pick up on it
and
immediately.
Everyone's going to be like, that is the coolest thing ever, and we need to like and share and follow and comment.
Yeah.
And watch.
All right, I'll leave it to you. I'm going to leave it in good hands. It's
Hey.
all on you, Kyle.
Yeah, that's what I do.
That's awesome.
I mean, you can't tell me that wouldn't be awesome, though.
I could dig it. I would approve that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we're on to something
I
here.
believe that's all the permission I need.
Yep. So I've actually been sitting here thinking about it because I'm like, I want to do something cool just one time. Just one time.
Just one time. Just one time do something cool.
Yeah, just one time. And this is.
I wouldn't even have to tell anybody. Like, I would just know in my heart.
Yeah.
Where it originated. And
well,
stuff.
when we're watching you, hold a UFC title at BW3s, and they say we'll be sitting in the corner, and we'll just be like,
just nod our heads. We'll just look at each other and just be like,
nod our heads.
Yep.
You got this.
Yeah. We're like, yep. That name's from us.
That's funny.
I will be sure to recognize that.
You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that.
Don't do that because then
but it's John with an H. No, I'm just kidding. I learned that the hard way. Yeah, I wrote his name down.
Yeah.
And because it's Jonathan, right? So I just did Jon, and
I've come to expect it. It's okay.
I thought I was gonna die.
Are you too lazy to write the H in there? What's going on?
I didn't. I thought it was J for some reason.
I mean, it's conventional.
I had a friend growing up who was HN, Jonathan.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, I thought it was normal. And then when I got into middle
like
school,
that.
middle school through high school, everybody was Jon, and I'm like, because I moved. My
What kind of
parents.
savages are these?
Yeah, my parents moved me, and I'll never forgive them for that. But anyway, that's a whole other. Yeah, what the hell? So I met Jon, so I just thought that was the thing, and so I thought he was the weirdo. But apparently,
well, a big thing too is my little spiel on this. You'll find that we both have, things that we hold near and dear to our hearts in terms of rants, and you'll know when you trigger one because it demands me to speak on it for about 5 to 10 seconds. But it's A-N at the end, and usually I'll go like it's J-O-H-N, and then they get the H, like, oh, I know how the rest of it's spelled, and they spell it the other wrong way, and I'm like, nah, it's all right.
Well, I mean, you guys see my name. I think at Invicta they called me Emilee. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
I do remember that because we talked about the card.
Yeah.
And we're like, who that? What?
Who is that?
I mean, it literally.
Do not disrespect the Valkyrie
right.
like that.
Yeah, the Valkyrie. Yeah, the Valkyrie.
In their defense though, it was like right close to Christmas time, and Eric and Joey all week had been calling me like Emmy Lou Who, like as far as like Cindy Lou Who is just like a joke. And I think they might have picked up on that at some point, and it just came out Emmy Lee. But I mean, it's still my name up there, so it's cool.
Yeah.
They call me whatever they want.
That's awesome. That's cool. The attitude to have, though. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So Valkyrie, we're doing subliminal messages right now.
I don't think they're that subliminal.
You don't think so, Valkyrie? All right. Okay, I gotta ask this.
Okay.
Android or iPhone?
Oh gosh.
Samsung, is that a thing?
Yeah, they're like the Apple of Androids. But
okay. I'm not technology at all. Like, it is not my forte.
Everybody's got a preference. Smart people prefer Android.
Okay, well then Android.
There you go. See, in a company that makes Androids is more or less because Apple makes iPhones, so it's iPhone whatever 8. And there's the X. It is X, right? Not 10.
It's 10.
Is it 10? Okay, I didn't know.
10.
I wasn't trying to be a jerk.
No, I really don't know how to work iPhones. If you hand me an iPhone, that's even worse than just the normal smartphone.
Well, you just stick it on a stack of paper so it doesn't blow away.
My God.
Up until like 2 years ago, I had like the old school, like it was like the flip phone, but it had the real buttons on it. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Why did they stop making those? I like the actual buttons. And I don't need all this other stuff on there. It's all superfluous. I don't need it.
I never wanted to put the BlackBerry
Which, by the way,
down.
she just nailed superfluous. That is a vocab word that I had in my junior year of high school that has stuck with me all of my life. So that's funny. Whenever I get one of those words, I hear one of them like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I know that word.
You're smart cookie word of the day.
Yeah, exactly. My mother got me every year for Christmas. She gets me word of the day calendars, and I love it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I had
increase that vocabulary.
Exactly.
I had like 5-6 meetings today, and I left. I knew it was going to be a cluster when I walked in, and I used the word nebulous. It just felt good to deliver a hard nebulous to somebody. Because I was like, what do you want me to
that's
do?
That's an impressive one.
Yeah, and they're like, well, didn't we make it clear? I was like, you made it nebulous. You provided me with nebulous instructions.
Oh my goodness.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
And then you've just I don't know.
I just walked out.
I always like language in the sense of, I think I saw like a bit by Louis C.K. where he's like, we use words to describe, like, I do say awesome a lot though. When you think of like the definition and stuff, like, he's like, well, you just use awesome for chicken wings. What are you going to do if like Jesus comes down and like all this stuff? Like, and like the rapture happens and stuff, and it's like, what word do you want to use then? You know what I mean? And it's like, maybe I should take a little more responsibility for, learning some new words and stuff.
I mean, a broad vocabulary never hurts. Never hurts.
Yeah, that is awesome. About as awesome as Valkyrie as a nickname.
Emilee, what what irrational fear do you have?
Oh, there you go.
Irrational fear?
Yeah.
Hobos, they scare me.
Now wait, there's two kinds. Are you talking about the kind that sort of like are there, or the kind that just harass you?
Well, I mean, either.
Either?
Honestly, like, I don't know why I'm afraid of them. Like, I grew up, like, maybe 50 feet from the railroad tracks as a small child, so I like to think that maybe that was why. But we went to a haunted corn maze one year when I was in high school, and there was a guy, he was dressed up, and I knew he was, like, part of the act or whatever, but he was dressed up like a hobo, and my friends paid him money to come hug me, and I cried.
Oh, my God.
It was sad.
So you weeded those friends out of your life, is what you're saying.
No, unfortunately, I'm related to some of them.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Family, yeah, that's family.
Yeah, that was not nice. I don't think I've forgiven them yet for that. That was pretty bad.
What about spiders?
I'll handle a spider if I have to, but I mean, I'll probably put it outside rather than kill it if I can.
See, it requires too much finesse on my part. Just grab a.
Yeah, I mean, if it's too inconvenient, I mean, I might just like either let it be or kill it, but it just depends on my mood at the moment.
Yeah, I look at it two ways. Like, I can be nice, and it can react and potentially kill me.
But they're gonna kill worse bugs. There are worse bugs out there than spiders, and they kill all those gross ones. Does that mean you're afraid of spiders?
Yeah, I'll let it out.
I got bit by one of them brown recluse spiders, and I didn't know, because all of a sudden, like, on my leg, like, in a matter of, like, because what you do is, you got you'll appreciate this, and you can I'll prove that my mother was in fact a nurse, is not saying you doubted me, but for anybody else, and I'm not just kissing up to you, it was red in the morning, and I drew around it with a marker, and as, like, every, like, couple hours to see how it progressed. And
yes,
it progressed, like,
good job.
Thank you. My mother said the same thing. It, like, progressed to, like, the size of probably, like, a peach. And it was, like, really red, and it started, like, it was, like, black in the middle where it started, like, decaying and stuff. I got, like, a scar from it still. It was I didn't want to go to the ER, but then you get weighed with the options of all right, well this could potentially happen. It's like, all right, I suppose I should go. That's what scares me. Not so much like an aggressive spider, a sneaky one that gets you without you knowing it.
Yeah.
You know.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I just grew up like living in a very rural situation, so like we got bugs, and I told you before in our last conversation, I was a little bit of a tomboy.
Mm-hmm.
So I was that weirdo that was playing outside in the mud and the dirt and the grass or bugs, whatever. So bugs don't bother me too bad. No.
Yeah, I married into hillbillies, so it's the truth.
I don't know that I would say hillbilly.
I'm an
Emily, here we come.
We are rednecks.
You lost the Valkyrie point with that one.
Wait, did you say Valkyrie?
She endorsed it. You
Yeah,
heard it
she
here.
did.
See, you got it's subliminal.
It was working. Yeah, I'm saying she's a good cook though.
Hey, yeah, we can cook.
She, I'll be honest with you. In the last year, to 2017, that was a big year for me.
Hurry up, because you started talking about like cook, and I'm like, oh, food again. Gravy.
I thought we weren't talking about food anymore. What happened?
No.
And I'm starving. So
Yeah,
I'm thinking about gravy.
2017, I spent more time outside than I have probably the 5 years prior to that.
Your skin probably still hasn't recovered.
No.
What? How come?
I think I was drugged or something, kidnapped. I don't know. But there's snakes and stuff outside. There's no snakes and stuff inside.
Generally speaking, yeah.
Yeah, well, they're not supposed to be. So when I react the way I do, when I see one inside, it's more understood and accepted.
I used to have a pet snake.
My
His
cousin
name was
did.
Caesar. I fed him a frog and he died.
Would you get one of those poisonous frogs?
Well, I didn't do it. My dad did. I was like, Dad, I'm pretty sure this is poisonous. And
That may be all right.
and he died. I still haven't forgiven him for that.
For the record, your dad was not a nurse.
Yeah, my dad was nor a veterinarian.
Hey, we all have our talents there. So some people, some people animals. Okay.
Now, what would you say would be a annoying thing that you have of being a roommate? Like somebody would be annoyed with you.
That I do as a roommate?
Yeah, like that. I don't know if you've ever, I've had a couple roommates, and apparently I leave socks everywhere. I didn't know what your annoying thing that you do as a roommate is.
I don't know. I feel like I'm, for the most part, a fairly neat person. I don't think I'm super messy.
Do you leave passively aggressive notes?
I do not believe in passive aggressive notes. I will tell you to your face if there is something
I
wrong.
believe in no notes.
I guess the only thing that I can think of is like, I guess that sometimes when I do laundry at other people's houses or just or even like Eric or anybody, like when I do laundry, I leave my clothes or my t-shirts inside out because I put them on inside out to where they're on right side out. Does that make sense? So then I tell people don't put my clothes right side out. That's about all I got.
You've warped my whole reality when it comes to putting t-shirts on.
Do what?
I'm trying to think because I've never done that. That's interesting. I need to try that.
You should try it. Try it tonight. Let me know how it works out for you.
Like that type of stuff, I'm not trying, like, my little brother warped my mind when he talked, like, when you make a sandwich, right? It's going to be hard, but it's like, I would, like, he always has to, he told me he always has to put the bread exactly how it was in the loaf of bread, right? Like, and one time, I guess, I just flipped one the other way, so, like, the crust didn't line up, and he, like,
yeah.
It irritated the crap out of him. He was like, just eat the sandwich. I can't look at this thing anymore. And then now that he did that, I was like, I got to do the same thing now. Like, the crusts have to line up or else I'm agitated.
The little things in life.
Yep.
Wow.
We're learning all kinds of things about each other today.
This has been an
How long have you guys known each other?
We've known each other since January 2016, and that's because I'm studying biomedical engineering at UC.
I'm not.
Yeah, and I was a co-op at the company he was working at, and we developed a relationship over video games and sports, and then we'd just BS in the office, and that's kind of how it started.
Yeah.
All right. Well, happy 1 year.
Yeah,
1 year.
it is our 1 year. That's all you need to. We need to buy something.
Yeah, I should have got you some. Actually, I did get you something.
Oh my god!
I didn't forget. No, I had no idea. I was just kidding.
The Valkyrie just reminded us. But it was funny because I do IT. Which
You do it.
Which don't. I've had like people are like, yeah, hey, my son's thinking about it. I'm like, well, smack your son. I mean, this is ridiculous. What are you thinking about? But it's so and he does, the biomedical thing. But when the co-ops came in, they had to get their equipment and stuff. So, and then we literally just talked for probably an hour almost. It was crazy. All the other ones were just sitting there dumbfounded. Like, are we supposed to leave or what? But so and then when this started, he was the first person I asked just because, I think we feed off each. You meet people like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you just feed off each other and see, like for you, so you do all the hard work, right? I mean, you're a fighter. We just talk about you.
Yeah.
So it's.
Well, I can't do the things that you do. So again, with the technology and all that stuff, that's not my realm. That's not my world. I'll stay in the cage. You can have fun on the computers.
I just use Google a lot, and I'm actually I like what I do now because now it's security, which what I do tell people in all seriousness, hey, they're thinking about getting a networking degree. I say stop, and if you want to do that, get security. Because security is like, it's still such a, it's in its infancy, So now's a great time to get into it. So if you know anybody interested in IT, tell them security is the way to go. I mean, I'm just being honest.
I will redirect.
Yeah.
Anyone that I meet like that.
It is. I highly, highly recommend. I mean, you're just, it's so specialized too, that. You get a lot of credibility just by walking in the door. You're like, hey, here's our security guy now. Yeah. He's our network security.
Badge?
Sounds official.
No, but I control the badges.
That's better. You're the puppet master.
Exactly.
That's neat.
The little ants.
Emilee, I don't think we knew you were a nurse. What type of nurse were you?
I was a medical surgical nurse, so I worked the floor. It was a predominantly orthopedic unit. But we saw anything and everything. So anything the ER dumped out, anything the OR dumped out. And then I was step-down certified, so I would work the step-down unit. That was a little bit more critical care area. It was a jack of all trades. You had to either fake it till you make it, or you really had to know your stuff. So it was a pretty big learning curve being such a young nurse on a pretty varied floor. But I had excellent mentors. I will sing their praises as long as I'm a nurse, and I'm very indebted to them and their knowledge that they helped me with. And then I came from a great nursing school, Tennessee Tech University in Cookeville, Tennessee. It was a great nursing program. I think when I left there, they were like ranked number 5 in the country or something like that.
Oh, wow.
So, I've had great people invest in me in nursing, just like I have had great people invest in me in MMA. I'll thank them forever.
Well, I think you get what you give, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you like I say, when we talked, and I told you, I mean, it was a really cool impact. This has been great too. It's kind of a change of pace,
Yeah.
It's always nice to talk to people, and it's really cool because we've had 3 on so far, and it's amazing how different everybody is. Yeah. And we talk fighting, and the stuff you do, but we like to take it other directions as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole person. You're not just a fighter. You're a human being. So there's more to me, just like there's more to my opponents, and gotta respect all of it.
Yeah, it does. that's what we're trying to do, with this whole venture, is just get more into that. It's so simple to pull up an article and, read a rundown. It's almost like a detailed tale of the tape, you can get that anywhere. You
want a little more life in there.
Right. It's nice to go beyond that. And a lot of people, they just don't really get it, and it's amazing how some people are still like, oh, it's barbaric or whatever. And I'm like, it's so beyond that. I mean, it's literally an art, it truly is. But,
yes.
Yeah, we don't want to keep you much longer, but...
party going all night.
Good God.
Might go past my bedtime, but that's cool.
Don't stop. That's right. I love that. Picture the T-shirts, though.
Yeah.
And all the awesome Valkyrie paraphernalia.
And memes.
Do you want part of it? Do you get a cut of that?
No. This is.
We're strictly pride.
Yeah,
strictly
exactly.
Pride. We do it for the love of the game. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Aw, that's so generous.
That's Kyle and John with WMMA Fighters. No, seriously. I mean, I think it's cool. I'm going to throw it in an article and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
If you don't mind, I think.
No,
it's cool.
let's do it.
But like I say, I don't want to keep you much longer. Thanks for coming on. Anytime you'd like to do this, it'd be great.
Absolutely, this has been a blast. I appreciate you guys for taking the time out to speak with me, and we'll do it again sometime.
Okay, great. Yeah, we'll stay in touch. I'll let you know when we have stuff coming up. But we're also doing a series, Fighters to Watch series.
Okay. Neat.
You're going to be featured in that. We have about 30 so far. I mean, the goal for 2018 is just a lot of content, but quality content, So,
yeah.
I mean, we're going to put out one article to other websites, 10 or 20, but, we're only going to put out good stuff, true factual stuff. That's the goal anyway.
I like it.
So, yeah, thank you so much. I mean, we hope you had a good time, and, anytime.
Awesome.
Anytime you want to do it, I mean, I'll hit you up and say, hey, if you want to come on, let me know what works for you.
Yeah, we'll be in contact.
Yeah, this is usually the time frame, but we can adjust. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure, Emily.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Kyle. Y'all have a good evening.
You too. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. All right, that was fun.
That was a blast.
All right, where are we at here? We got time. We have 58 minutes. All right. Let's.
It's amazing just how. Again, like you said, I was thinking the same thing. Like how different, because you think stereotypes. All these fighters are the same, and you see like very different. They stress different things. It's crazy.
Yeah. She's different. In a good way. It's like just a positive person. So it's really cool to talk with people like that. What? So we do have a throwdown of the week this week. That is Vanessa Porto, who never stops.
Just a throwdown.
She never stops.
Yeah.
Against Mariana Moraes. So that's at Invicta 27, Saturday the 13th. Believe it starts at 8. Might be 7.
That's when you can do YouTube, right?
You Fight Pass.
Fight Pass.
Yeah, UFC Fight Pass. Again, they have a 7-day free trial. So
unless you've already hit that 7, we come up with a different email, probably.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
I've got like 17 different emails.
I haven't paid for Fight Pass once.
It's wonder if they look at it and they go like, "Wow, who is this 1, this 2, this 3?" And I just cycle through numbers.
You get arrested for stealing your own identity.
Exactly.
But yeah, so that's and there's a lot. So Invicta 27's got a huge card, arguably bigger than 26. No title fight though, which is always disappointing. But it's not a big deal.
I'm excited though. All the cards have been like awesome.
Yeah, I
know
mean,
what I'm saying?
starting 2018 like this. Now the cool part is UFC fights also, and they have 4 WMMA matches on the card, and that's on Sunday.
Oh, Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
Any WMMA fights coming up on the 20th?
I don't think so.
Because that's the...
No, that'll be two. See, Bellator is is UFC 220 on the 20th also.
I think it might be 220 because that's the Ngannou.
And Stipe.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be insane.
Yeah. Can't spell Ngannou. So stupid.
I mean, it's not like Smith.
I mean, it's pretty phonetic though, if you look at it.
Yeah.
UFC 220, yeah.
Yeah, so Invicta 27 is huge. Now, UFC, though, is St. Louis.
Damn. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Yeah. I mean, that dude don't play.
Yeah.
But he's the champ for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude, I think it's going to be a great one.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be like old school heavyweights. But JJ Aldrich, who hasn't been in the cage for a while, she's a monster. One of those who looks incredibly nice, but will rip your head off.
Yeah.
Against Danielle Taylor, who's just consistent. Great performer.
It's like a brick house.
Yeah. Oh, she's freaking solid.
Yeah.
Solid. Toledo Bernardo and Irene Aldana, those two have been itching to fight. So that's a great night. So these are the Fight Pass early prelims, and then you have Kalindra Faria and Jessica I, or Jessica Evil Eye, which I love that.
That's cool.
She is aggressive and just. I think this one's going to be a good grappling match because Faria is just ridiculous on the ground. So, and then of course, Paige Van Zandt making her flyweight debut against Jessica Rose Clark. That's on the main card on FS1. It's at 10. It's on a Sunday at 10, so that kind of sucks. But they have a lot of early fights starting at 6. So like their main cards, 4 fights, are usually 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So a lot of action this weekend. So get in on that. You get 2 great events. You get Fight Pass, 7-day free trial. You got the prelims and Invicta.
Unlimited days with alternate emails.
Yes. Yeah.
I just found that out. Like, it took me way
There's
too
a
long.
website, I think it's called 10-Minute Email.
Yeah.
You ever heard of that?
No.
You go there and it gives you just some jank.
So you don't even have to think of
You
your
don't even
email.
have to think about it anymore. You're not getting this from us. Stop. We don't endorse
We
this.
just heard.
Yeah, I did. I heard. I was a guy I know was Google searching, and he came across this ridiculous email thing, 10minuteemail.com.
That's funny.
So you go in there and it gives you an email, legit, because
There you go.
you got the name, you got the at, and then the whatever. So it works.
Yeah.
Now if you have a Gmail, you can always do whatever and then do a plus sign.
Okay.
And then a number after it.
Yeah.
Because what's funny about that is it looks at it like a separate email address,
But it's the same.
but it ignores the plus sign.
Really?
And everything after it up to the at sign. Again, you didn't hear that from us, so stop. But we laugh about you're not learning anything. This is educational and destructive. But don't do that stuff. But it's there. You know what I mean? Like it's there if you want to do it.
These are facts.
Yeah, we're not endorsing anything.
It is there.
And then real quick, so Mackenzie Dern, who made her, an ace jiu-jitsu fighter, made her debut at that Invicta 26 card. She is now going to make her UFC debut in March. It's just like it's not that Invicta isn't for real. I mean, I hate saying that because it is, and she had a great fight. But Ashley Yoder's a little more experienced.
Yeah.
On the UFC stage, I think that has a lot of weight. Again, that not taking anything from Invicta, it's just different. It's a different. Everything about it's different. Because unfortunately, a lot of people don't even know what Invicta is, and that sucks. But it is what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that is the make or break, and it's hard to say that one UFC fight could potentially, put a big damper, on your career. But I think it can, just because she's got so much hype. So I think it's a good matchup. I don't know really what Yoder's going to bring to it. I know she will probably avoid the ground, obviously.
Yeah.
But Mackenzie looked great striking in Invicta. So, I mean, I think overall it's going to be a very interesting matchup. But I hate to say it, but I think this match is going to have a heavy weight on how matchmakers look at her in the future.
Yeah.
And what sucks about that too is if she just goes out there and destroys Yoder, then the matchmakers are we got the Ronda Rousey effect.
Yeah.
You know, hey, let's get her up there. Let's get her in the top 5s. Let's get her,
No,
because
sure.
people know her name.
Yeah.
Nothing against her, but, Mackenzie Dern versus Tisha Torres, Michelle White, I mean, that's a tough outing.
Yeah.
So, it's almost like damned if you do, damned if you don't. I mean, I think it's just going to be a good matchup, but I hope that she surrounds herself with people smart enough to take it slow.
Yeah.
Because she wins, the hype's going to explode.
Yeah.
Don't jump into the deep end if you can't swim.
Yeah.
So
Learn that the hard way.
yeah. That was a quick rundown at the end. But yeah, check out Invicta Saturday. Starts at 8 or 7, can't remember. UFC Fight Pass, and then Fight Night on Sunday, which is, I wonder why, maybe because there's no football, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't really know what's going on. And then we got to talk about the 20th, Big John McCarthy making his commentary debut at Bellator.
I'm going to have to watch that. That's going to be awesome.
I love that guy. It's going to suck not seeing him in the cage anymore, but maybe it's Now I know he did this before and didn't like it.
Oh, okay.
He even wrote a book and said he didn't like it. So this is interesting. Maybe it's just different. I don't know. Yeah,
I imagine when you do something like that, like, you got to be like, okay, if I did this again, you can't have, there's some aspect of it that you're like, I don't like.
Right.
So if you're like, hey, this is what I want, you know what I mean?
Or it could also just be different because it was so many years ago.
No, for sure.
So many things could have changed.
Definitely.
I think
he's lived.
Yeah.
Like, your opinion changes over time.
I think he's going to be great.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. So.
Already got the following.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's another thing I like about fighting is, like, the officials, like, you're taught to love, like, in a lot of sports games, you're taught to hate the officials.
Right.
You know what I mean? But in fights, you're like, everybody's like, oh yeah, it's almost like thinking, like, well, who's reffing it? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, Herb Dean, Eve Levine, John McCarthy, I mean, those guys are great. I mean, UFC's got great refs, Invicta's got great refs. Bellator and UFC pretty much use the same. Yeah. Obviously, if they're not on the same night. Mm-hmm. So, check that out, because that's also Rory McDonald is making his Bellator debut. So, I mean, that dude's a killer.
Yeah.
Now, next week is cool. We got Jamie Henshaw, who is the King of the Cage atomweight champion. So she'll be on here. Just going to do the same, just hang out.
It's kicking it.
Yeah, shoot the breeze. And
food.
That's the thing, like, we want to know, because we've been getting comments, which is good. Mm-hmm. We want to know, like, what you want to see.
Yeah.
We can
like
sit
any
here.
Perspective.
Right.
I'm going from my perspective about what I want to see.
Right. We can sit here and have a script. Yeah. Oh, 8. Okay, so Invicta is at 8. My bad. I'm slow.
Correction.
But yeah, stuff you want to see. I mean, it's not as simple as calling somebody up and saying, hey, come do this podcast. I mean, but if the way we do it is cool, let us know. We can be scripted and robotic. It doesn't matter. But I think like this is more entertaining.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's it for me. For us, I mean it was a really good interview. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Like I said, leave us some feedback. Let us know what you think. Check out Emilee Prince too. She's on all the social media platforms. Loves reaching out to her fans. Call her the Valkyrie.
Do it.
Is just a great person overall. Very receptive to talking with people and just doing kind of like we did. So feel free to reach out and again leave comments. Let us know what you think. And that's it for me.
See you guys.